Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the new moon in Capricorn at 20 degrees 44 minutes on January 11th, 2024. Welcome to a new year. 2024 is a transformational, powerful, infinite year that will have infinite impact on the universe. So I welcome you back if you have been with me for a while. If you're new, welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us start to relate to our multidimensional self beyond what we currently think we are. Start to tap into our true self, our vast quantum self, our multidimensional self. And galactic astrology can help with that. So if you are curious about your own galactic alignments, download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. A link is in the below description box. In this video, you will receive 3 energetic themes that I have pulled out from the new moon in Capricorn chart that I feel is very relevant to the energies that we're currently experiencing. Also, you will receive a couple of questions at the end. Should you want to integrate this new moon in Capricorn energy some more into your own life? Because all of these insights that we receive through readings also we have the opportunity to integrate them into our life and actually allow them to become part of us. This new moon in Capricorn is very powerful due to a couple of things. First, the new moon is conjunct the Lyra Ring Nebula M57 at 20 degrees of Capricorn. And also the new moon is squaring the nodes of the moon. And in this new moon chart, there's no air. So the earth and fire interaction is quite prominent. Saturn is the ruler of this new moon, and Saturn is still conjunct the Royal Star Fomalhaut at 4 degrees of Pisces. And this is an exact alignment at this time. Saturn has been interacting with Fomalhaut for quite a while now. And at this new moon, it's at its peak. The angelic guidance coming through Saturn to us from Fomalhaut is very supportive, very guiding at this time. But the fact that Saturn and Fomalhaut now are also trining the Shapley Attractor brings in the multidimensional aspect to this, the multiverse aspect to this guidance at this time. This new moon at 20 degrees of Capricorn is talking to us about our tendency to stay in the comfort zone and resist expansion. It is really a reminder that is flavoring this new moon that we are invited to change our own perspective because a different perspective can actually take us into something even better that we may not have foreseen. This new moon in Capricorn is also talking to us about the opportunity we have to honor the past. And when we honor the past, it also helps us transmute the past so that we can let the future in. And not letting the past flavor our experience of today, and how important it is that we are not attaching and bringing that attachment to what our mind is coming up with into our daily life, because we have an opportunity to attach ourselves to a bigger perspective, a bigger viewpoint, if we so wish. And this new moon is really highlighting that choice. And you will get some extra context to what I was just saying as we go through the 3 energetic themes that I've pulled out for this new moon. This new moon is also honoring the mental imprints that may have been created from past trauma, past trauma in this life or past lives before that. So this is really quite a turning point, I would say. And as you listen to the first theme, you'll know why. Before we take a look at the new moon chart, I'd like to share with you what the 3 themes are. The first theme is from trauma to wisdom. And here we're going to talk about the Lyra Ring Nebula M57. And the second theme is steps to expand your perspective. And here it's going to be interplay between Saturn and Mars and its galactic alignments for this new moon. The third theme is galactic activation and transmute dark to light. Here we have a theme of multiple galactic points activated in association with Orion constellation. So I'd like to share that with you. So stay with me for the 3 energetic themes. So here we have the chart for the Capricorn new moon at 20 degrees 44 minutes. And as you can see there, the sun and the moon are together in Capricorn, conjunct the Lyra Ring Nebula M57, also at 20 degrees of Capricorn. This is a very prominent alignment highlighting for us the galactic heritage we have with the Lyra constellation. And I will address this more in the first theme. Here you can also see the new moon squaring the nodes. The mean node placement is 20 degrees of Aries and Libra, respectively here. Saturn is the ruler of this new moon at 4 degrees of Pisces, conjunct the Royal Star Fomalhaut at 4 degrees of Pisces. I want to talk a little bit more about the Lyra Ring Nebula, since it's so highlighted by this full moon and these squares to the nodes, because here we have an invitation to a future direction, considering the past. So this is an important highlight by the universe and our planetary movements to focus on the Lyra Ring Nebula. So here we go. Here you can see the Lyra Ring Nebula from space. It almost looks like an eye looking right back at us. And also you can see M57 highlighted there on the star map at the bottom of the Lyra constellation. Now, Lyra Ring Nebula has a very close relationship with human galactic heritage. So many of us will feel this new moon strongly due to the experiences that we have had as a soul, perhaps, in this Lyra Ring Nebula. Not everyone, but many, many on Earth right now have experiences stemming back from the dynamics in the Lyra Ring Nebula. And what I'm talking about here is that Lyra Ring Nebula was considered a portal, a very powerful portal for time travel or even transporting energy beyond ways that we can comprehend here in human form. The Lyra Ring Nebula became a target for dark forces. So polarity wars were taking place between dark and light eons ago, and resulted in a mass exodus of souls from the Lyra Ring Nebula out to other constellations, such as the Pleiades, such as Orion constellation, and also to Lyra Vega, as you can see at the top of the Lyra Vega constellation. So there was a migration out to other places in the universe due to this takeover of dark forces in the nebula. Some souls are still processing this experience at the soul level. And the link to human galactic heritage here is significant. If you have alignments to the Lyra Ring Nebula in your galactic chart, you may feel this new moon more strongly as a reminder of the opportunity to change perspective and not letting our past flavor our experience today. So here we have the first theme that I called From Trauma to Wisdom. And with the backdrop of the Lyra Ring Nebula galactic heritage and history, I'd like to take you through why I feel that this new moon is such a critical point in addressing our past trauma that some of us may still process. Now, what is a significant alignment at this new moon is the trine between the new moon and Uranus. This is an opportunity to release past trauma, and it's often coming through a insight that is unexpected. So look for anything that is inspiring you, a new insight, something that comes in from the left field that you may not have thought of before. It can be a cosmic download as well. So around the time of this new moon, January 11th, is an opportune time to pay attention to any inspirations that comes to you, because now is the time, and I'll take you through why. So it's not the first time the Lyra Ring Nebula has been highlighted in our galactic charts. The more recent time was at the Virgo new moon on September 14th. At that Virgo new moon, Lyra Ring Nebula was trining the new moon, and Mercury was the ruler. So it was time to start talking about our past trauma and bringing it up to the surface. We also had a highlight of Lyra Ring Nebula at the Scorpio new moon on November 13th. Then the Lyra Ring Nebula had a sextile to the new moon in Scorpio, and Pluto was the ruler of that new moon, along with Mars. And then we really were feeling the transformational effects of bringing up our past trauma to the surface. So many of us processed that past trauma during Scorpio season. Now, the Lyra Ring Nebula is conjunct the new moon in Capricorn with Saturn as the ruler. And now it's the time. It's time to release it. It's time to truly let our past go and use the wisdom that we have created since to not get affected by our trauma in our daily life, or not letting it influence us as much in our daily lives. So there's a sequence of importance here from mid-September timeframe to now. And now when Lyra Ring Nebula is conjunct the new moon, so now it's the time to use that wisdom that we have created to move ourselves into the new direction. The squares to the nodes here are calling us to consider that growth that we're ready to step into at this time on January 11th. So that is what I'm seeing. The Lyra Ring Nebula plays a significant role in human galactic heritage. And now there's a highlight of this heritage. So whatever that means for you, whatever past trauma and how you have been able to apply wisdom to that, to not let that past trauma influence your experience today. Now with that trine to Uranus, it's an opportune time to really get a download, a new insight from the left field. Uranus is going to give you that through that trine to the new moon. Here we have the second theme that I've called steps to expand your perspective. And here you can see a minor grand trine with Saturn, the ruler of this new moon, conjunct Royal Star Fomalhaut. Here we have angelic guidance through Fomalhaut as a royal star, but also the infusion of creativity. And filtered through Saturn's energy, it's going to come through as wisdom. We also have Jupiter now direct, opposite Shapley Attractor. There are 2 degrees of Scorpio conjunct Haumea, which is also an archetype of new Earth energy. So Jupiter is really connecting here with the Shapley Attractor in opposition, now in a direct energy flow, which is super powerful. We also have Mars squaring the supergalactic center at 2 degrees of Libra and sextiling Shapley Attractor at 2 degrees of Scorpio. So Mars is heavily involved in multidimensional energy. And with Mars here, sextiling Shapley, squaring supergalactic center, Mars is engaging in multidimensional energy, also providing that step-by-step action energy infused by creativity. And Jupiter's expansion here also is significant. So this minor grand trine is important step to keep our step-by-step process going for expansion. Now we have also a second minor grand trine involving Mars at the center. As I mentioned earlier, sextiling the Shapley Attractor at 2 degrees of Scorpio and sextiling Saturn and Fomalhaut. Now this is a super action-oriented energy. And as you can see, water and earth only are holding this bowl together. And with Saturn and Mars in charge here of these minor grand trines, it means that the step-by-step way forward is laid out through this influence of angelic guidance, but also Jupiter's expansion and multi-dimensional energy through Shapley Attractor with Haumea influencing as well. So this mix of energy suggests that there is a tangible step-by-step path laid out uniquely for each and one of us. And it takes perseverance. It takes step by step. It takes day by day, month by month. But it's time. Mars and Saturn engaged here in this energy that holds us together. It grounds us, and it's encouraging now at this new moon to take the steps needed to address the trauma and change and expand our perspective so that we can move on into the future. I just want to show you Fomalhaut here. And again, you can see Fomalhaut as a star in the sky and that dust cloud around it, but also on the star map here, how to find Fomalhaut in the sky. Now, Fomalhaut has been a steady presence aligned with Saturn to feed us wisdom through creativity for quite a long time. And as the ruler of this new moon, Fomalhaut is coming into center and its role as this creative wisdom, if you will. So I just wanted to highlight Fomalhaut here today because it is a significant influence in the current energy. So here we have the third theme that I call galactic activation to transmute dark to light. And here in this theme, we have a focus around Venus and Mercury in Sagittarius, because Venus is conjunct the great attractor, the massive black hole of universal wisdom that is of the magnitude bigger than our galactic center here in the Milky Way. But also Mercury's alignment here at 27 degrees of Sagittarius to the galactic center, which is our own black hole driving the Milky Way galaxy that we belong to. So these two alignments to these significant galactic points are influencing us very strongly at this new moon. With Venus and Mercury's alignment at this new moon to significant galactic points, we also have an activation of the Orion constellation. Venus is opposite Orion Rigel at 17 degrees of Gemini. And Orion Rigel is associated with energy of expansion, but also of discipline and almost a hierarchical, stepping up the ladder type of desire. And the opposition here to the great attractor is always there, but Venus's influence now transiting with this alignment is highlighting the need for easing that egoistic edge, if you will. Venus aligned with the Great Attractor is one of inclusion. Inclusion is a great word from a feminine standpoint. So there's a request for us to balance that energy within ourselves. Now, there is a significant trine here also from Venus to Chiron at 15 degrees of Aries. Chiron is associated with, of course, the wounded healer, right? And Chiron's alignment to Andromeda Alperads in conjunction here is one of a desire to free oneself from limitations, liberation. And the trine here is very much supportive of Venus's alignment to Great Attractor in terms of inclusion. So this is an invitation to us to start to address even more the desire within ourselves to be above another, as opposed to inclusion and healing that wound within ourselves. We also have Mercury conjunct the Galactic Center at 27 degrees of Sagittarius, receiving a beautiful trine from Hydra-Alphard at 27 degrees of Leo. And Mercury has traveled from being conjunct Hydra-Alphard back in end of July, and now here conjunct Galactic Center. And Hydra-Alphard is that energy of Kundalini life force and that ignition of the spark within us, right? And the trine here is very much that ignition of life force at this time. Now, through Mercury, it's speaking our truth. Mercury is also trining Andromeda Galaxy M31 at 28 degrees of Aries. Andromeda Galaxy is associated with limitless energy, also this kind of multidimensional portal energy. And it's associated with beauty as well. So this fire trine that is created with Mercury here is really feeding this energy into our Milky Way galaxy through the galactic center. Mercury is opposite Orion Scythe. Orion Scythe is a very special fixed star associated with transmutation of dark energy to light. And for those who have Orion Scythe in their galactic chart, you likely naturally have an ability to transmute energy, darker energy to light naturally. So we have yet another fire trine going here, which is also contributing to the inspiration and access to our life force that we are currently invited to really step into and use. So we also have a square from Mercury and Galactic Center to Neptune, 25 degrees of Pisces here. But this is also a long-standing square, of course, that has been in place for a while. But now with Mercury activating this point, this square becomes even more important and highlighted at this new moon. Neptune is supporting us with is that square of spiritual growth. The square is not always feeling comfortable, but it's definitely in place for us to expand, to allow ourselves that activation of fire energy that we're invited to consider at this new moon. With so many personal planets activated at this new moon, it can feel very personal, and it is a call for us, each individual, to consider what our next expansion would be, considering our past trauma, using the wisdom that we have generated over time here, and actually start stepping into using that wisdom, transmuting the dark to light. And we are our own transmutation, our own path can only guide us. So it is an individual job. We are asked to each one of us persevere to take our responsibility for our own next step. The squares to this new moon from the nodes of the moon is this indicator that this activation is happening now. So I have a couple of questions. Should you want to integrate this energy signature from this new moon in Capricorn? And here are the questions. The first question is, what have you become more clear about since mid-September, that Virgo new moon that was trining the Lyra Ring Nebula M57? There's something here that has become more clear to you that you now are ready to address, ready to let go of, so that it doesn't influence your everyday moving forward. What is that? And are you ready to step into your power around this? The second question is, what new insights how are you ready to embrace to help you kickstart that change of perspective? What is the opportunity here? How can you break this opportunity down in smaller steps so that it doesn't feel as overwhelming? And the third question is, how can you approach this change from a compassionate view for yourself and for others in this limitless, passionate, inspired way instead of from a viewpoint of fear? If you want to go even deeper and integrate a multidimensional way of living, I recommend my book, Wisdom Beyond What You Know. In this book, I lay out the 7 shifts to living a multidimensional life. And each chapter comes with coaching questions as well. So if you're really loving these questions that I give at the end of each reading, you can go deeper with all of this using my book as well, Wisdom Beyond What You Know. And it's sold wherever books are sold, and it's also available as an audiobook. So this was the Galactic Astrology reading for the Capricorn new moon. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and watching to New Light Living podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide. There's a link in the description below. Thank you very much. I'll be back soon with another video.